After months of deadlock, there's increasing hope that a ceasefire deal in Gaza could be signed in the coming days. It's reported that the CIA director has arrived in Doha in an effort to bridge the remaining gaps between Israel and Hamas. Hamas says a ceasefire deal is possible if Israel stops setting new conditions. The details are not yet concrete, but let's take a look at what the deal could look like with our defence and security analyst, Clarke. Michael, what's possible?
We've been close to a deal, it seems, for over a year now. And the last time there was a deal was November 2023, so 13 months ago. And there's been a lot of demand, of course, in Israel for the hostages to be released and some sort of deal to be worked out. It always failed for all sorts of different reasons. Both sides were digging their toes in. But it now looks as if something may now be happening. The fact is that Bill Burns, the CIA director, was on his way to Doha. He should be in there in Doha now. And the Israeli delegation arrived there on Monday, and the Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of Qatar, Abdel Rahman Al Thani, is hosting. The Egyptians are involved. It looks as if something might now be beginning to work. And Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, now looks as if he may go along with some of the things he'd been holding out on before, partly because he now feels, I think, that he's in control of what's happening. He's in control of what's going on in Gaza, at least in a political sense. He's done something in Lebanon, so he's on top of the Hezbollah problem. He's putting pressure on Iran. He feels as if he's in a more dominant position than he was a few months ago, so he might be more prepared to make some concessions. But what might it look like? There's a number of issues that would have to be reconciled. And if we think about a map of Gaza, you can see what the issues are. First of all, would the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, would they really withdraw completely? Hamas said they have to withdraw before they can do any deal, but would they really? The two places that the IDF really want to concentrate on is the Netzarim Strip, this road that they drove through the northern part of Gaza to separate the north from the centre of Gaza, to control it, and the Philadelphia corridor, to have Israeli troops all the way along the corridor, which is the border between Gaza and Egypt, and, of course, is the area where all the tunnels existed, where Hamas was getting all of its support and all of its supplies. And the Israelis are loath to withdraw from the Philadelphia corridor, even if they withdraw from the Netzarim corridor further north. And then if they withdraw, or a phased withdrawal, how might the hostages be released? It seems that there are maybe 50 or 60 hostages still alive, maybe 35 bodies to be recovered, so maybe 100 people to be accounted for. Would they all be released together, or would that be phased with some sort of Israeli phased withdrawal? We don't really know. And then there's the question of, well, what follows? Is this ceasefire a 60-day ceasefire, or a 28-day ceasefire, or a 21-day ceasefire? Hamas says that any ceasefire has got to lead inexorably towards a more permanent peace deal. Israel have rejected that because they don't want to have to deal with Hamas. They said that we're going to destroy Hamas completely. Well, they may have destroyed it militarily. They may have left Gaza as a bit of a ruin from a governmental point of view, but they're still going to have to deal with Hamas. So it isn't clear whether this ceasefire can become something more permanent. And then while this is going on, the Israelis are still hitting. They're hitting Beit Lahia in bombing attacks. They're hitting Gaza City. They're hitting Rafah in the south. They're hitting some of the Nuseirat refugee camps further north. All of this is going on at a time when somebody else is involved as well, a man called Steve Witkoff. And Steve Witkoff has been in touch with everybody involved, it seems. He is President Trump's nominee, or his designated envoy to the Middle East, and he's dealing with this behind the scenes. So the Trump team are talking to everybody. And so for good and bad reasons, President-elect Trump, is having an effect on this crisis, which is giving everybody the message to hurry up.
Michael, thanks very much.